Hi everyone, thank you for taking the time to listen to my poster presentation. Today I will be talking about a smaller project that stems out of my larger dissertation project, in which I analyze the situation of language contact within the Italo-Venezuelan community of Pescara, a city located in Italy. Today I will talk about the development and implementation of heritage language programs in Pescara. As introduction, I would like to share the definition of heritage speaking students. A heritage speaking student is a student of a language who were raised in a home where a non-English language is spoken, who speaks or merely understands the heritage language, and who is to some degree bilingual in English and in the heritage language. This is obviously a definition that was created and applied to the context of the United States, but it could easily be applied to other contexts as well. The most salient feature that we have to keep in mind when talking about heritage speakers is their historical and personal connection with the language, not necessarily their degree of proficiency in the heritage language itself. My research objectives were primarily determining whether or not existed the conditions to successfully develop and implement Spanish heritage language programs in Pescara, and whether or not there was the need of such programs. Most importantly, the goal of establishing heritage language programs is to enhance language maintenance at a local level, and as well as integration of Italo-Venezuelans in the local community. In terms of the geographical context, we are talking about a fairly small province, the province of Pescara, located in the region called Abruzzo. Abruzzo is located in central Italy. We are talking about Italo-Venezuelans. We call them Italo-Venezuelans and not just Venezuelans because they are their community is the result of a return migration, meaning that the individuals composing the community are direct descendants of the Italian immigrants that arrived in Venezuela after World War II, and that now are fleeing their country and returning to the original areas from which they had emigrated. It is estimated that Abruzzo hosts approximately 10,000 Italo-Venezuelans. However, this information is unofficial, meaning that I have estimated the number according to the information I collected for this project. Unfortunately, the Italian government does not provide any official statistics that counts or that takes into account individuals who have dual citizenship, that is Italian and another country's citizenship. So under the law, if you have Italian citizenship, you are only counted as Italian in official statistics. In terms of the linguistic dimension that we find in this community, the local Italo-Venezuelan community is composed by super diverse individuals with a rich linguistic repertoire. They are speakers of the regional variety of Italian, Venezuelan Spanish, of course, and Abruzzese, a non-standard and stigmatized local Italo-Romance language in a minority of cases. The methodology I used is building a community profile, that is interviewing a population sample that included privileged witnesses, formulating verifiable hypotheses, and connecting linguistic choices to certain social distinctions or structural divisions that I identified in the community. I used a qualitative method, that is sociolinguistic questionnaires, together with free-floating conversation that I then proceeded to analyze after the data collection phase was over. The results show a very predictable and typical scenario of language loss, primarily triggered by the fact that there is no generational continuity, that is, second generation Italo-Venezuelans unfortunately report speaking mostly Italian with their children in the household. In local schools, European Spanish tends to be the most widely taught variety of Spanish, thereby suppressing or stigmatizing any speakers of any Latin American varieties of Spanish at a local level. Italian has also a predominant role during daily activities, so we cannot talk about sharing domains of usage, being that given the fact that Italian is the majority language and is used in most domains. Spanish is also rarely used by local media, unfortunately, so also that domain is mostly Italian. And finally, mastering Italian for Italo-Venezuelans is extremely important to achieve economic stability, meaning that it gives them the opportunity to find stable employment. That is why it is important to speak Italian more than Spanish. To conclude, the scenario laid out above clearly sets out the basis for us to create heritage language programs, in that we can see that there is a potential process of language loss followed by perhaps language extinction in the long run. Heritage language programs can then significantly prevent language loss. They can contribute to avoid linguistic and cultural homogenization within the Italo-Venezuelan community. And given the anti-immigrant sentiments that are unfortunately on the rise in Italy, heritage language programs would facilitate the integration of newly arrived immigrants into the host society, because they would be directed to both heritage speakers and L2 students of Spanish. In terms of directions for future research, the development of heritage language programs could potentially target also other local immigrant communities, such as Chinese and Romanian. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed it.